did a great job. We still
Lewis,
haven't replaced them. Good grief.
Now, how can you replace them, Coach? How can you
I
replace
haven't.
those two?
I haven't. It doubled my workload when they walked out the door. I can tell you that.
Was what year was that they were on?
I think it was 2016.
16.
Because they're the
Okay.
same age as my daughter Emma.
Okay. William's going to help me do
They
this.
were all 3 seniors that year.
Yeah. William's going to help me produce a show this year.
Who is?
PrepSpin, William. Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal. I hope you get to do it. I hope we have the Scholastic Ball.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing.
Hey, just one second. I'm going to throw the logo up in the intros, guys, okay?
All right, we're ready to go. We're ready to go, Coach.
All right, good deal.
All right, what's up, everybody? William Warfield here with you. Yep, back in the studio. Been doing a lot of Legends games, volunteering my time up there, doing some play-by-play with that. But tonight I wanted to personally take off, and I know Gary had some other things, but we had this big meeting this morning with the KHSA that was going on, and just wanted to get everybody updated on that. Plus, we've got a great guest here tonight, and I'll let Gary kind of run through the introduction, if you will. Gary Ball, man, this guy, you see there, Coach Buchanan.
Yeah.
I mean, really no introduction needed. This guy, when you look at his resume, I mean, top to bottom, it's impressive.
It sure is, and welcome to the show, Coach Buchanan. We really enjoy you coming on, and look forward to talking to you. A lot of great things to talk about tonight, and I just want to start out by saying you're one of the great coaches in the state of Kentucky. You're president of the Kentucky Football Coaches Association for this year. Congratulations for that. You were KFCA District Coach of the Year 2003, 2005, 7, 8, 9, 12, and 13. You're just, it just goes on and on. Kentucky High School Coach of the Year finalist 2003. Is that when you had Dustin Grutz and all those guys at Mason County?
Yeah, Coach of the Year awards, those come in a lot more when you got really good players. It seems. I'm not sure what the connection is there, but it seems like great players, coaching goes well, and that next year we were 1-9, and I don't remember winning any Coach of the Year awards. I'm not sure what happened.
That's funny how that happens in a coach. When you got great players, you have great seasons. And you were president, as we said, you head coach of the Kentucky All-Stars in 2005. And how about that? You defeated Tennessee 41-27.
Hey, that was a great night, and I still think that's the best high school football team Kentucky's ever put on the field in anything. Man, we were loaded with really good players, and I tell you what, if we hadn't made some mistakes early, I think we'd have, instead of beating them 2 touchdowns, might have beat them 4 or 5. We had a really good team.
You did, and you guys played a great game that day. Coach, you also you were at Mason County for quite a while. as the head football coach, had some success there. Obviously, you said you had some great players. You had Paul Satt. You had Chris Lofton was one of your receivers. You had Harry Lewis. To name, I mean, just to name a few, you had some great players there at Mason County.
We really did. It was 19 years, and and those guys that you named off, they're very talented, but they're wonderful young men, and we've kept in touch over the years, and very, very proud of them. It was really a blessing to get to coach them.
Yep. Yeah. And you went on to, I believe you're a Mercer County guy. That's your alma mater, is that correct?
Yes, sir. My dad, was at Boyle in the early 70s, and then in 74 came to Mercer County, and then I stayed here even when he got done. He got into the car business, but I played for Larry French at old Mercer County High School. And, of course, now we've merged and have been since the Titans won the state title in 06. And we're merged, and, we're excited. This is going to be year 6. Our in school history, as far as Titans, we haven't had a lot of continuity. So for us to have the same system for 6 years is going to really help us, we think.
You mentioned your dad. I know he had a lot of influence on you, but what do you think that when you have a dad that's that good of a football coach and you end up being a good football coach, what is it you think you probably took from sessions with your dad, talking with your dad, that made you the coach you are today?
Well, I'll put it this way, and I'm a long way from being like my dad. I wish I was more like him, but probably the 2 best qualities I thought that he had as a coach. First of all, it was all about his players. He loved his players. They came first. Their well-being came first. And the second thing is just he's an extremely, extremely tough guy. Saw him fight through some pretty rough battles and some heartbreaking times as well. And he's a tough son of a gun. So I got a long way to be in his neighborhood, but I really I appreciate how much he loved his players and just how tough he was.
Yeah. Well, I can't speak for William, but I know you have a lot of those same attributes. It shows through that you love your players, you put them first, and you really had to put them first with what's going on right now with this pandemic and the COVID virus. Your kids didn't know if they were going to get back. The KHSA decided today they're going to stay with the plan they first went with. They're going to stay with that, and you're going to play football. It looks like you're going to start practice Monday. You're going to go line to field later tonight. We appreciate you taking out the time to talk to us before you go line to field, Coach. And we appreciate that. And you've got football starting September 11th.
Yeah, we're really excited, and our kids need it. And I know a lot's been said about that, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse right now. But our kids really need athletics. After the last 10 weeks of workouts and talking to other coaches, and really got to the point Clay Clevenger had the idea about collecting the data that we shared earlier in the week. The more this went on, we really all sort of became convinced that we were helping our communities and our kids by keeping them occupied and giving them structure. And and I think that I think we're pretty good to our kids. I don't think we're abusive or any way, but I will say this. I think when you're a high school football coach and you're in that setting, I can talk to my guys in a way that probably nobody else can talk to them in Kroger or Walmart when it comes to wearing their mask or getting 6 feet apart and those types of things. And, then plus we wear them out, and then, they're less likely to go out to get into something. So, it may be very naive. And again, I'll be the first to admit I'm not a doctor. There's a lot of things I don't know. But I will say this. I really think the structure of athletics could actually contribute to, holding COVID numbers down. And at least that's my hope. And, I think if we don't have athletics, those kids are going to find something to get into. And I don't think that's going to help. I think that's going to make things tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true too, Coach, because it's been said and proven time and time again that high school sports is definitely a deterrent to keep kids off the streets. So not only does high school sports keep kids involved and occupied and their interest up, but in a time like this, they need to be in safe places, not out at the mall or other places where it may not be so safe. You guys are professionally trained, and you've had all the information given to you, and you guys are following the guidelines and things like that. And I'm talking about all coaches that are out there running practices right now at the high school level. It's really truly amazing all the stuff that you guys have had to go through to be able to practice now, and all the guidelines that you follow. You guys are doing a great job. I've been out to a couple practices, and it's just amazing how well ran these practices are.
Well, one thing about it, you hate it when you're going through tough times, but by now we've had to navigate MRSA, we've had to navigate heat, and we've had to navigate concussions. And, those have been tough things to do. And, sort of going back to my dad, and, it really is about your players. This is still a sport. It's not a business. There's not a lot of money involved or anything like that. This is still a sport. It's still about your kids, and it's about protecting your kids. So, we've got a lot of experience in that. That's sort of what we do. Heat, MRSA, concussions, we've been battling that for a long time. And I still, watching how this is all played out, and again, recognizing initially, I'm not a medical expert. I realize that. But I can tell you this, it seems like around 2005, 2006, 2007, around there, the MRSA scare, at least the connection MRSA had to athletics and the contact and the idea that there were so few antibiotics that could treat it. We had a player at Mason County that was hospitalized due to MRSA. And sadly, there were athletes in Central Kentucky that lost their life to MRSA. And we were able to get through that. We kept going. We did the best we could to protect our kids. And I pray, I hope that we don't go through that with COVID. And at least initially, going back to March when it got started, and looking at what we've been through this summer, I remember being a lot more. When the MRSA thing got going, I really felt like I'm not sure we're going to get to keep playing football. It's because of the body contact and the way it spread. I didn't think we'd be able to, and we got through that, and I think we're going to get through this too. And I think there's a lot of benefits, as you all have already said. Not just for the athletes, but for the entire communities. And I think we're going to find a way to get through this and move on and have better days. I really do. And I think we'll be able to play football. And something that we've tried to stress all along, we have never, absolutely never, our association has been after football at all costs. It's always been, we want to play football, but we also want to protect the vulnerable. And we want to do both of those moving forward.
Yeah. Coach, how many high school football teams in Kentucky? I know you had the survey you did that you put out. 190 of those high school football teams responded to that. There aren't 100. You can't get that many people to respond to give it a free car or something. If you're giving away something free. So how'd you get that many people to respond to this?
Coaches, I tell you what, and I don't want to get. I've been absolutely overwhelmed with what our high school football coaches. The way they've responded. Over the last several years, we've had trouble being unified. We've had trouble being on the same page. I tell you what, I'm awful proud of them. Right now, sort of looking at where we are, I sort of feel like the crisis brought out the best in all of us. I really do. A couple people that really stand out right now. Mark Clark, who was elected the chairman of our elected council, has provided some really good leadership. He's the one that put these surveys together that we've done. the whole survey idea came from Clay Clevenger, and it came because in conversation with coaches, we just realized that, man, our workouts are going well. Our kids are safe, and we thought, and then so we said, well, is it really what we think it is? And so we wanted to do that survey, and we're thrilled with the results. And you're right, 190 out of 218, that's 87%. To have 87% of our coaches participate, I'm very proud right now to be a Kentucky high school football coach. I think these guys have done a wonderful job, and I think the overwhelming majority of these guys, they really are in it for their kids and serving their kids, and they want their kids to have this experience, and they want their kids to have the benefits of all the things that go with Kentucky high school football.
And speaking of that, the only thing you can control is the only thing you can control. In other words, your weight room, your practice field, your football locker room, meetings, all that. You can control that, and you guys have done like I echo what William said earlier. You guys have done a fantastic job with all that, and that tells me right there, and I'm sure that weighed heavily with the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and their decision to play football and to go give you the green light with the seriousness of the way the staff, because if you guys take it that serious, your players are going to take it that serious, and that's the main thing. You want to keep these players safe, and that's the best way to keep them safe.
Yeah, I do. I think that the relationships we have with our kids gives us a big advantage in trying to leverage them into doing some things for their benefit. And I think that's been a big piece of it. And again, talking about the MRSA, the heat and the concussions, we've got a lot of experience navigating things with our kids, with a large number of kids, and trying to communicate to our kids, what we're concerned about, and getting them to be truthful about things. There have been several kids that have walked through the door, and I give them their screening questions, and they answer something wrong. I say, today you can't go. You got to go home. And that's been interesting too, because initially every time a kid showed up or said they were sick, my gut got tight. And I'm like, oh no, here we go. And so far every time that's happened, when the parents have had them tested, they've tested negative. And just my limited experience, it seems to me you get an awful lot of bang for your buck with, hey, if you're sick, stay home. That just seems to really go a long, long way in protecting everybody. And, it's not complicated. It's certainly not high science, but I think we've gotten a lot of mileage out of if you're sick, stay home. And the way it's turned out so far, if you're sick, stay home after 2 or 3 days. They may or may not get tested, but they come back and they're fine, and we keep on going. So, it's pretty simple, but, and I really think eventually we're going to get to a point with this that's how we're going to handle it. We're going to say, if you're sick, stay home, just like we do the flu or anything else. And I'm very hopeful that can really help with a lot of these things.
Coach, I can speak for my son. He's got a youth football team here in Jessamine County where we live at, and they've practiced every day. Not every day, twice a week for the past month. They've had a practice, and we've got several kids that come out to that, and I speak the truth on this. We've had zero issues, and knock on wood, but everything's gone smoothly with that. Zero issues.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit embarrassed because I've been pretty vocal about, let's not let fear make our decisions. Donald Smith, our AD, assistant head coach, and Pastor Donald Smith, he says, be cautious but not fearful. And I didn't even realize it, but I really was fearful because every time my phone rang or I saw a text from my AD or superintendent, I'm like, oh no, here it goes. And I was the happiest guy in the USA when we got to the end of June and we had not shut down for COVID. And I mean, it's like in my mind, because of all the things we've seen and have heard, I just kept waiting for the worst to happen. And at least for 10 weeks, it never happened. And then I start talking to other coaches, and the worst never happened to them either. And so it sort of made me scratch my head a little bit and say, no, wait a second. Does this mean that we can manage it maybe a little better than we thought? I don't know. There's a lot of things that I don't understand about it, and I acknowledge that right off the bat. But what I'm getting at is that even as much as I hate letting fear sort of influence you, I was more fearful than I needed to be, because we've gotten through this 10 weeks and no incidents, and it's been great. I mean, it has been. We have had 10 outstanding weeks of workouts for our kids. They've gone extremely well, and this was the last one. We're going to start practice on Monday, so it's going to be different. But it sort of got my attention that fear had sort of crept into my mindset more than I would like to admit, and it sure turned out that maybe I was a little more fearful than I needed to be. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it does have to hit home too, Coach. I was the same way when back in March when we first got the lockdown from Governor Bashir. I was watching all the news conferences and all the things he had for March, April, getting out and walking like everybody in my neighborhood. Trying to stay exercise and all that. But then my daughter came down with COVID. She got it at work, where she works over in Loveland, Ohio, and she got it there. And she said that she probably felt about as bad as she's ever felt in her life. She couldn't hardly breathe. It got into her lungs, and she was hospitalized for a day, and she couldn't breathe. Then they gave her. So when it hits home like that, you realize that it's out there. But I agree with you. You can't live, you can't be in fear of anything. So I think that the KHSA made the right choice by going ahead with football, giving your kids the opportunity to get out there and play football. And from somebody whose family member had COVID, I know it's out there. It's going to be out there. There's nothing we can do about that. So I think we probably just take the approach of we got to go ahead and live with it, and maybe just do the best we can and stay away from it. Wash our hands, 6 feet, and all those good things.
Yeah.
And I agree, and I'm thankful your daughter is doing well now, and we've tried in everything we communicate is never communicate anything like we don't think it's real. We know it's real. There's no question about that. Like Mercer was real, and concussions and heat are real. We just again looking for the best way to navigate it. And again, I may change my mind a month from now, but right now I sincerely believe that high school athletics can actually contribute to holding numbers down, because I think.
We might have lost Coach there for a second. Let's see if he gets back, Gary. He just kind of froze.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's the refresh button.
Well, he's on his cell phone, so maybe that's the case. You were talking about your daughter getting it. I just got a text yesterday from my mom that said my great uncle, which is my dad's uncle, of course, but said he was in a nursing home down in Florida, but he got it and he passed away. So I didn't know him very well. I knew of him. Coach Buchanan's trying to.
We're trying to get him back.
We got like infinity his name on the screen. You see that?
That's impressive.
Let me try something here. That's definitely not.
Never had that before.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see. It's because where he disconnected from Zoom. He's going to try to get back in. It looks like, but. I'm gonna send him another invite, see if that helps. this is a good conversation we got going on here with Coach Buchanan.
Yeah,
and
he's president of the Kentucky Football Coaches Association, and does a great job with that. Does a great job with Mercer County. Was a great coach at Mason County. Had outstanding players there, and an outstanding Mercer County ball club. Was predicted to have one of the really good football team this year, so they'll have a really good team this year. And I think he's trying to get back with us.
I'd send him a new link, so maybe he'll respond to that and connect. But again, man, we've and it looks like he's coming on there now. Let me hit the admit button, and as soon as he's on here, we'll bring him in there. Let me go back to full screen. Sometimes it's just a technical glitch. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, am I back?
You're back. Yeah.
All right. Does it say Prosper Buchanan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my youngest son, who's also going to be my quarterback this fall.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come I can't see William?
Hey, at least I guess y'all can still hear me, huh?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can
All right,
certainly
sorry
hear you.
about the screen, guys, but hey, I've got a face for radio anyway, so it's okay. It really is.
It's all good. It's all good. So we're gonna talk about the Titans and talk about your football team and all that good stuff here in just a little bit as well. But Coach, I just wanted to get your thoughts on what you thought of the meeting this morning that took place.
I was real impressed with them. I thought they did a good job of looking at all sides of the issue, and there's a lot of good discussion, and I thought there was a lot of sincerity. I felt like everybody really was sort of looking for what they felt like was best for the kids, and I was but I'm very, very also very thankful that it turned out well for our kids, and we're going to be able to have fall sports. I'm very thankful for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gary, go ahead. I'll let you do that. I'm looking up and down the roster here, trying to familiarize myself with some of these guys that's on this team here. Of course, we went down there a couple years ago, right, for the bowl game.
Yeah. And Coach, you open up, I believe, with Boyle County, don't you?
Yeah, they're not bad. They're nothing like having 3 weeks to get ready for the Rebels, man. I mean, I'm like, we might just take off 2 and get started, and obviously I'm being sarcastic. That's a great program, and it's going to be a huge challenge to start the season.
Yeah.
It looks like you got. Sorry, Gary.
Go ahead, William.
I was going to say, it looks like you got Boyle County to open it up, like Gary had mentioned, and then you got the Whitaker Bank game. They're one of our sponsors here on the network as well, but looks like you got Taylor County in that one. And then you follow up with Christian Academy of Louisville, so it doesn't get any easier there. Christian Academy of Louisville probably will be pretty good as well once again. And on October 2nd, you get Western Hills. October 9th, South Laurel. On the 16th of October, you play Henry County. October 23 could be a tough one with DeSales. And then you play West Jessamine. They got a new coach this year. And then November 6th, you play Anderson County.
Yeah, we are. We're playing some good people, and it's going to be a big challenge for us. And we're going to have to take it 1 week at a time. And when we really haven't even had a practice yet, we got our hands full. There's no doubt about that, and we know that.
So, how will you conduct your practices, Coach? As a Kentucky high school football coach, will those be any different now with the shortened? You haven't had July and early August. Here it is, August 20th. You've got, and you'll start the 24th, so you have about 3 weeks to get them ready. How does that change things, if anything?
Well, I think it changes them a lot. Initially, what we sort of did is we took an approach of working backwards from where we normally would be, and then trying to we try to install some things in small groups and in bits and pieces on the O-line defensively. The kids I know have done some other things too on their own, that haven't been. But, all I said to them is, it's got to be a group under 10, but I know that they've done a little bit of install that was, player-led. So we've tried to work backwards, but, it's going to be an issue. We had planned on practicing. It's from 7 to 10 a.m., not next week, because next week only get 7.5 hours of practice. But then the next week was going to be 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Well, we found out today that our teachers are going to be our coaches that teach, they're going to be tied up from 8 a.m. to 3. So that knocks out 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And something that we're trying to do right now because of the current situation, we're trying to keep our freshmen away from our varsity. We're trying to do that really to protect everybody. If we keep our freshmen away from our varsity, we're going to decrease their chance of having a COVID, a shutdown by 27%. If we keep the varsity away from the freshmen, we decrease their chances of missing a game by 73%. So, we're trying to help all of our kids have a season, and, we're not even going to have managers this year. We were talking about this today. I guess we're going to have an injured player do our video, or we're going to set up a camera to do video at practice, because we're not going to have a manager there to video. I can't do it. I can't bring another person right now into the environment that could have a positive test and then we're shut down. So it's going to be different. Right now, what I think we're leaning toward is, next week is going to be 7 a.m. practices to 9, and that should work for the most part. Of course, obviously, it's going to be abbreviated because it's a 7.5 hour, maximum. And then the next week, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then fill in with Zoom and video and meetings after school and things like that to get everything in. We're opening up with a tremendous opponent, and it's going to be really tough to do. But, to avoid the freshmen and avoid the heat, we're looking at going like from 8:45 to 11:45 at night. And if we do that, we're going to be back to guys who are sleeping late, and it's going to make it tougher on them to do their schoolwork and all those things. And, it's taken all summer to get them used to getting out of bed. And we don't want to screw that up in 1 week if we can. So it's different. We got our hands full and we got a lot of stuff to deal with, but hey, we're thankful that we're playing, and we're going to make the best of it.
Coach, let me ask you this. There's a lot of talk that, the fans may not be able to come to the games, or, we may be at a limited capacity. Now, seeing what the Lexington Legends have done over the past 3 weeks, where they've had crowds up there, and everybody socially distanced, seated every other row, that type of thing. Temperatures taken before they even walk in the gate. We know it can be done with fans, but what's your thoughts on that, Coach?
I probably ought to defer to my athletic director. I got a great one, Donald Smith. He does a super job. We'll figure it out. The nice thing for us with a home game, we don't even have a visitor side. That is tailgating up and down that fence on the other side. So they're already, how they want you to stay with your family or your group that you're always with. Well, we've got that built in. And our bleachers, we've got nice sized bleachers. I sort of think it's going to work itself out. I really do. And, but again, whatever they tell us, whatever comes up, we're going to be in compliance. And that's one thing I've really tried to sell to our coaches and our players, to keep the whole, opinions and politics and all that thing out of it. We might have different philosophies on some different aspects of this. And, everything seems to turn political these days. But,
right.
My whole point is to say, look, do you want to play football? Then it's time for us to shut up and be 100% in compliance. And that's what it's about, because I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to win arguing with the health department. You're not going to win that argument. You need to shut up and you need to do what they ask you to do. And that's what I'm telling our kids. That's what I'm telling our coaches. And, if Coach Smith asks us to do something to be in compliance, we're going to do it 1,000,000 miles an hour, and we're going to be in compliance. And, the bottom line is, if that's what it takes for us to play football, that's what we're going to do.
Yep. Coach, you authored a book, Black Shoes and White Shoestrings, Football and Life Lessons. And I know that book is getting a lot of good reviews. And did you have a ghostwriter, or how was that?
Well, hey, I don't know. Do you know Zach Clemmy with the Ashland paper, the Daily Independent?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
yeah, I know Zach.
Well, I'll tell you where it came. I can tell you where it all sort of came about. When I was in Maysville, and Chuck Smith was coaching at UK, the Kentucky Wildcats, every other day somebody would say to me, "What's Chuck say? What's Chuck?" I mean, that's all they wanted to hear is what's Chuck saying about UK. And I sort of realized that everybody loves to hear these stories from these old coaches. They really they enjoyed that. So I started writing a column for the Maysville paper once a month about a particular coach. And then somebody suggested, they said, why don't you add pictures and make it a book? And it was really sort of fascinating because on the one hand, I'm sitting here saying, nobody wants to read a book by me. Why in the world would I write a book? That's the dumbest thing I've ever thought of. But at the same time, though, I had this sensation of, I have got to get this book done. I would wake up in the middle of the night and I'm thinking, I have got to get this book ironed out. And it was really sort of fascinating. November of 2015, the book was finished, it was published, and we started selling them. My dad loved that book. And I would tell people that my dad loved the book because the stars were him and Jesus. I mean, it was really those two guys. And but my dad really enjoyed it. And so anyway, my dad passed away in October. It was November of 2014. I'm sorry, the book came out. October 1st of 2015, not even a year later, my dad passed away. And I sort of understood then why I had that sense of urgency. I had to get that book done for my dad. And very thankful that I did. And I'm just glad that was something that he and I could share. And I could share a little bit about how he's impacted me and so many others. And, I tell you what, it was a blessing growing up around all these old coaches. I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. Is that something we can get on Amazon now, Coach?
No, I've got a blog, and you can order it off my blog. Just Google Black Shoes and White Shoestrings, and I've got it with Twitter. I mean, it's not too tough to find, but I try to keep up with that blog and try to do a lot of leadership stuff with it.
Yeah,
so I'm sure Danny Weddle was mentioned in that book.
Absolutely, Danny really helped me because Danny wrote his book on Maysville and Mason County basketball, and Danny was a huge help to me, and really appreciate him. Been a very good friend, man. Danny and I. He was our radio guy at Mason County. And so for 19 years, every Monday at McDonald's, Thursday after practice, and Friday after a game, I was talking to Danny. And, my son had just moved back to Maysville, and Danny's now in real estate. And my son, they bought their house from Danny and his wife. So it's pretty cool.
Wow, that is cool. Danny's one of the good guys in this business. William and I know him very well, and one of the good guys, and I know if anything he does is a positive thing for high school kids, and now if he's in real estate, I want to tell everybody in Maysville they need to call Danny Weddle because he'll flat take care of them.
He will. He's a wonderful guy, and always Danny reminds me a lot of you, Gary, in that really good at what you do, and but you always, and what makes you so good is you're all about the kids. And Danny's the same way. It was all about drawing attention to the kids.
We're showing your website right now, Coach.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
so
appreciate
It's
you
really
helping me.
good.
it's all if for the folks wanting to get on there and check it out, it's all, black shoes and white shoestrings.blogspot.com is how you get to it. And
Well, thanks for helping me out.
yeah, and that's certainly something that we like to put up here on our shelf too. We got Coach Haywood's book, Faith, Family, and Football back here, and a couple other ones. Coach Weiser, who happens to be a soccer coach, he wrote some books, and we've got some of them here in the podcast studio. So we'll order one from you, Coach.
Yeah,
Hey,
we'll get
well,
a
I
book. And
appreciate it. And hey, I felt really good about us playing because they had Coach Haywood on TV talking about how we needed to play. And I told Mr. Taggart, I said, well, I think we're playing. I said, God has spoken, and he says to play. So
yeah,
Philip Haywood's sort of God, and if Philip Haywood says we need to play, we probably ought to just shut up and play football.
Yeah.
right. If you know anything at all about Julian Tackett, he's all about participation. He's for the kids. He looks at all the issues. I like how he handled that meeting today. I'm like you, Coach Buchanan. I thought they all were very sincere and came across that way. Uh, I think one of them, the lady from Rowan County, got a little teary-eyed. Miss Moore, she got a little teary-eyed when she started talking about the kids. And because the thing is, all those people have family members that are involved in high school athletics. I mean, Julian's got a nephew or something like that plays over at Richmond Model. So everybody's got some connection. I played high school. I played at Boone County High School up in northern Kentucky. I'm a functioning person of high school sports. I mean, that's the reason. Like William said, that's the reason I probably carried a 3.8 at Boone County, because playing basketball for Jim Connor, if I didn't have good grades, forget it. And just like you, Coach, that you work hard to keep the grades up there for all your kids, and that's what high school coaches do for you. They keep you motivated. So it's important that we're playing football this fall.
I think it is. And again, not only is it great for our kids, but I genuinely believe that will help us to hold down COVID numbers, keeping our kids occupied, giving them structure, giving them incentive to make better decisions. So I do. I hope it works out. I think it can. I think it should. And I'm really hoping the season goes like these last 10 weeks, where we sort of get started in it and we're a little uneasy and like, what's going to happen? And I'm hoping 10 weeks from now, it's like, man, that was like the workouts. We're okay. We've been able to navigate it. And I'm really hoping we have the same experience. That would be great.
Coach, let's touch on a couple of the guys that you've got returning to your team. Kiriko, I believe is how you say his last name. He's coming back, right?
Yes, sir. That's correct. Dalton Carrico will be back. He can play wide receiver, tight end, and defensive back.
Right. Yeah, and then tell us some of the other guys. I know you got you probably got close to 10, 15 seniors coming back this year.
I don't think we've got quite that many. Our center is a 3-year starter, Richie Macias, and then our right tackle is a 3-year starter, Jesus Garcia, and both are very good players. Got a lot of experience, and look forward to having them back. Braden Dunn will be he'll be a 3-year starter, but he's only a junior. He can play running back, he can play outside linebacker, he can play a slot receiver. He can play in the secondary. So those are probably the guys I think that are coming back that have, probably played the most and have got quite a bit of, recognition. Jalen Lukic is another guy that's played some linebacker for us, some wideout. Bryce Walton's another one. Blake Brown is a returning starter at offensive guard. He's a senior. So I know that I'm not thinking of all of them. Hey, we've picked up a really good transfer from Mississippi. His name's James Mathey.
Nice.
And he will play left tackle for us, and we really like him. He's got a really good motor. So the thing we got going for us, I really like our kids. I do. I hear a lot of people talk about entitlement these days, and we're very fortunate. I don't deal with a lot of entitlement. Our kids are appreciative of anything they get. I think they work pretty hard. I know I enjoy coaching them. I like being the football coach at Mercer County. I think I'm working with really good kids from good families, and I think they appreciate stuff. I brought this up the other day. I really like Hunter Cantwell, the coach at Cal. He's a good guy, and they sold us some cleats at a great price, and so we could sell them to our kids at a great price. And man, I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but I've been really glad that with all the things and the hard times we're going through, man, our kids can buy $130 cleats for $20 right now, and
Wow.
that's because Hunter Cantwell sold us those. They had a bunch left over at Cal, so. I do. I really like being part of a business, and in our district, we're with, Harold Davis at DeSales, does a super job and very much a kid-oriented coach and wonderful guy, retired firefighter. And I do. I think if you coach in high school football, you're working with a group of men that love kids and are really trying to make a difference in those kids' lives.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to give a shout out to a guy that probably doesn't get very much love from the media, but you got a guy that can really kick the ball too, and that's Noah Davis. A lot of people.
I'm glad you brought that up because I shouldn't have missed him. I think he's an outstanding punter and kicker, and I'm guilty. I missed my punter and kicker, and I should have brought him up. But he's a talented young man. He's a good athlete. And I think he's going to have a big season for us. So thanks for catching that, and thanks for helping me. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, Coach. A lot of folks talk about the kid over at Boyle County, and rightfully so. I mean, what is his name? Jackson over there?
Jackson Smith.
Jackson Smith, yeah.
That is correct, and he's a really good player.
He's pretty amazing, but I feel like Noah kind of gets tossed in that shadow a little bit because we've seen Noah play. And he's got quite the leg.
He does. He's also a lot better athlete than folks give him credit. His dad was the only first-team player at Old Mercer, Pod Davis. And his dad played then at Western Kentucky. He was a punter and a kicker there, very successful. And then Noah's mom, Jan, was a really good basketball player here at Mercer County. So, he comes from a very athletic family, and we're tickled to death to have him. And I do. I think he's a really good player.
Yeah, and I keep hearing about this really nice freshman you got coming up. Last name of Yates.
Landon Yates.
Landon, yeah. Yeah, everybody's talking about Landon, especially in the middle school scene. They're talking about Landon, that he's got a lot of possibility.
Well, I tell you what, talking about those guys, and Landon we're excited about him. And here's the weird thing. It's like I'm not around our freshmen right now at all. We are really trying to keep everything separate and, trying to keep the powers that be happy. But William Harris, who's as fine a freshman football coach as there is anywhere, he does a super job with that program. I think we've got 18 freshmen right now, and he is tickled to death with the way they're working. So, I don't know how much talent will be there or not. I think there will be some, but I know that we've got a really good pipeline of some really, really good young men we're going to get to coach. And I'd say by the time it's all said and done, there'll be some good players in there too. But we're crazy about our incoming freshmen. They're workers, and we love coaching them.
Yeah, there's so much tradition there at Mercer County. I'm sorry, Gary. I'll promise I'll give you the floor right after this. But I just wanted to touch on this because, we've covered Mercer County athletics for quite a while. When Coach Souter had his run there, heck, that lasted over 10 years. Excuse me, got itch in the throat, but. Yeah, we've covered them for a while. Always great.
Yeah, Mercer County had that great run in the girls' basketball where they won back-to-back state titles. They had the Lexi Lake girl. They had Emma Souders. They had the Miss Basketball player, Sagan Robbins. They were just loaded, Coach, and all those girls are playing college basketball.
They really were, and I tell you what got my attention. It was like my first week at Mercer County. and I'm just walking around the lunchroom, just sort of trying to get to know the kids and sort of who's here and there. So anyway, I walk over to their table. It's the girls' basketball team, and it's just the Lake sisters, Emmy Souder, Emma Davis, and Sagan Robbins, and they're eating their lunch. They all have their workout. I think they're doing like their AP calculus or something. And I'll sort of tease Chris Souder a little bit because I'll say, I mean, Chris really is a great basketball coach. There's no doubt about that. But I'm telling you, when you're coaching a loaded roster and they spend their lunchtime doing their AP calculus homework, and I mean, you talk about a wonderful set of young ladies. They were super and they were impressive. I wish I'd gotten here 5 years earlier. They'd all played football. Goodness gracious, they were impressive. And just a really high character group of young ladies.
I want to show this.
Williams got the. Yeah, that's the.
This is the
Mercer County basketball team, and William and I actually spoke at their banquet. What year was that? When they won it, the first year or the second year?
I believe it was the second year.
Coach, yeah. So we spoke at the coach. They're fine young ladies. Speaking of fine young ladies, you came out to the Scholastic Ball Report at KYT about 4 or 5 years ago with a couple of ladies that really impressed me, Coach. And matter of fact, we had you on the video a little bit earlier, and I saw the picture of them back there over your left shoulder. Tell us about those young ladies and how important they were to your program and what they're doing nowadays.
Well, we still haven't recovered from them, man. They worked so hard, and I never had to tell them what to do. They figured out what had to be done, and they did it before I even knew there was a problem or an issue. But they both have done really well. Gabby just recently got married and has graduated from Campbellsville University, and Morgan is working on a career in nursing and doing really well. So, like I said, I don't think we ever really replaced them, but they really did a good job. And it's interesting you bring that up. We were the first Zenith Elite program in the United States, and we're a Zenith. That's that helmet brand we use. So Ron Tanner, the Zenith rep, he walks in my office at Mercer County, and he tells me, he says, we want you to be the first Zenith Elite school in the country. And I'm like, that sounds great to me. But I said, I'm not going to kid you. I mean, we're working, but we're not that good yet. Why us? And he said, number one, he said, we knew that you were 100% Zenith at Mason County. I said, yes, sir. He said, number two, he said, we love your social media. And that's what Gabby and Morgan started for us. So really their work is what led to us being a Zenith school. And the Zenith deal, it's been great for our program, and it's been great for our kids. So, and I do think we've had a really good social media presence, and, those young ladies got that started and did a wonderful job.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is when the Twitter at Mercer County is always great. Even Coach Hamlin does a great job with the boys basketball team. I mean, you see a lot of his stuff where he promotes those guys, and I truly believe to this day that Coach Hamlin has helped some of his kids get noticed at the next level and even got some opportunities in the door because of the way he does his Twitter. I mean, it's amazing.
He is. He's really good at that, and it's been a great avenue for our kids. It's been exceptional. Yes, sir.
Yep. You guys
Coach,
do it right.
Being president of the Kentucky Football Coaches Association, that's quite an honor. But that has to be a little taxing on you, especially with all this COVID and all the stuff going on with your, will you have a season, will you not, and so forth. But, man, you've done a great job with that through all this, noise outside, football.
There's been a lot of us working together on it. Again, our coaches have done a great job, and, everybody's all in because it's fighting for our kids. And I couldn't be proud of our Kentucky high school football coaches right now. They've done a wonderful job.
You're right, Coach. I'm glad you brought that up because there's some outstanding football coaches in this state of Kentucky. Let's go to Louisville. Chris Wolf at Louisville Mail. What a job he does at Louisville Mail. played Trinity State Championship, beat them the year before, won state championship, runner-up last year. Jim McKee over at Scott County, wins. You got a new coach at Frederick Douglass, McPeak, Nathan McPeak. I get those guys a little bit confused, but you just go up to Northern Kentucky, and you've got Eddie Evanston at Covington Catholic. He was listed as the top coach in the state of by this national poll they did. It was Football America, something like that. Eddie Evanston was listed as the top coach because he's been at Covington Catholic 6 years, and he's won 3 state titles, I believe. I mean, the guy's phenomenal. But you can just go all around this state. I mean, Mayfield, Joe Morris. I mean, anywhere you go, Eastern Kentucky. We have some tremendous high school football coaches.
Yep.
Philip
I agree
Hayward,
with you. I agree, and they're really good at what they do, and they care about their kids. And I tell you what, they make Friday nights tough because 9 times out of 10, when you walk out there's a good cat on the other side that's got his team ready to play.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yep.
Is there any coach that you particularly over the years have had some not so good success against, or maybe you have had good success? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you have their number, or maybe they have your number.
Really, when I think about it, probably the guy that I butted heads with the most, but loved him dearly, was Ivan McGlone. When I was at Mason County and Ivan was at Russell, our games usually determined the district championship. And, Ivan in that wing tee, we worked on it all year. His defense, Gary Morse was his D coordinator. We worked on that all the time. And, it was cool because they were our rival. It was the biggest game on the schedule every year, but I had a lot of respect for them, and they did a great job in the way they ran their program. And, Ivan became a very, very good friend, and really thankful for him. And I tell you what, one of the best times of my life has been getting on a bus, going to Flatwoods, Kentucky, and the Royals and the Red Devils were going to play. And I'm not going to kid you. That's one of those things that I really am sorry to see that time has passed. Anytime the Royals and Red Devils were going to play in Flatwoods is usually going to be a good game. And I was going to get to see my good friend and great coach in Ivan McGlone. So, and there's a lot of guys that I'm close to, and I love them, and I've enjoyed competing with them. But with Ivan, it was just, and when Ivan and I got started, it really wasn't that good. It was 96, my first year at Mason County, and they finally run out on the field at about 7:33. So I just probably wasn't the smartest thing I've ever done, but I just go out and I'm standing on the hash mark and the numbers and pretty much letting the officials have it and saying, so I guess since this is Ivan McGlone and Russell, we'll start the game whenever they want to play. I said, I guess we'll just wait for them to tell us. And so the officials flagged them and started the game off. They backed them up, but they made me pay for that the rest of the night. You're not supposed to go to Ivan McGlone's and question when you're going to start the game. If Ivan wants to start at 7:45, that's when we're going to start. So, but I did. I loved competing and battling with Ivan's teams. And, boy, I tell you what, my coaches knew how much I love Flatwoods. I got a sign hanging up over my office that says Flatwoods, just like the road sign. I love that game. I live for it every year.
Yeah, Billy Ray Cyrus is from there also, so that ain't too bad. The achy breaky, you know what I'm saying? But we really
he's good, but Ivan's number one, man. He's the number one up there.
That's right. Well, we really enjoyed this conversation with you, Coach Buchanan. You're a class act. You do a great job for your kids. You put God first, and then your family, and appreciate that. And anything else that you want to mention or talk about that we haven't covered on the PrepSpin podcast?
No, I appreciate this opportunity. I'm excited about the 2020 season, and I really appreciate what you do for high school kids. I'm biased. I'm definitely a high school football guy, and I do think Kentucky high school football is a big deal. I really do.
Yeah.
I think it's very popular. I think it's extremely important in our communities. And you all are a big reason for that. You help promote that. A lot of you all are a source of community pride for people across this state because you highlight their kids and their programs. And so I really do. I appreciate you because I think that you're really sort of feeding the monster that is Kentucky high school football. And I appreciate what y'all do for kids, and I appreciate your role. So thank you.
Wow.
Well, you know thank you, Coach, and you know my passion. It's high school football. William knows it. Everybody that knows Gary Ball knows that my passion's high school. I could do a high school football game. I've told everybody this 3 nights a week if they played them 3 nights a week. But Friday night's good enough for now. Some Saturday nights with the bowl games. But I tell you what, let's lace them up and let's go get hit somebody because I'm ready for some football, Coach. Let's go.
Hey man, I am, and I'll ask you guys. You tell me, is there an event in a small town in Kentucky that is bigger than when they turn the lights on a Friday night and the hometown team is playing a ball game? I don't know what's bigger than that.
Coach, you're right. When I drive into a city, if it's a Friday night, you know what I'm saying? Where's the lights at? Where's the football field? Got to find the high school football field. I don't care where it is in Kentucky. High school football is just phenomenal. This is a football state. I know they try to say basketball. Kentucky is a football state right now. You can count on it. You can bank on it.
I agree. And I think basketball is a great game, but I do think they've done some scheduling things that's made it tough.
Yeah. I played high school basketball, so I love it too. But I tell you what, there's nothing like high school football. You can talk about Texas, Pennsylvania all you want, but they ain't got nothing on the state of Kentucky on Friday night, baby. Go down to Belfry and see what's going on. Go over to Mercer County. Go over to see Frederick Douglass play on a Friday night. They got about 6 or 7 Division I football players. There ain't nothing like. I'm fired up right now. I'm ready to do some football, William.
Hey, and you know, just to add a little fuel to what you guys are talking in there with that fire you got going on here. You know, even the teams that are not so good still have great crowds. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still a big event to the. I mean, they could be 3-5 on the season to start it out. And still the whole community comes out and supports it. You've got to love that.
You're right, William. It could be Bellevue and Dayton on a Friday night up in northern Kentucky, and they got a packed house up there. Coach Buchanan knows that, coaching in Mason County. I mean, it could be, like I said, Bellevue and Dayton, Newport High School, anybody. They got a packed house. They love their high school football, and I've always said that. And there'll be someday I'll probably retire, but I still got some good years in me, I think, with high school football. And I tell you what, there's just nothing that gets me juiced up going out. I mean, William knows when we're out here at these high school football games, there's nothing gets me excited. Coach Mike Meehan works with me, and he does a great job. And William's our producer on Friday nights. And I tell you what, I'm ready to lace them up. I'm ready to go.
There's only one thing, Coach. There's only one thing that
get Gary to practice Monday morning.
There you go.
Except we're not going full gear. He won't be happy because we're not full gear Monday morning. It's just helmets only.
I
can't let him come in and hurt my whole team.
No, I wouldn't be much of a running back, but I tell you what, put me at center. I could get a hole going there for you, Coach. I could road break for you.
Hey, Coach, though, we are like magnets, though, because, if we see that tailgate out in the parking lot as we're walking into the stadium, that does get us, every time.
Yeah, that's right.
But other than that, we're ready to roll with that high school football on Friday nights.
Yeah,
yes,
Coach,
sir. And this whole state's ready for it.
Yeah. It is. I'm ready for it. PrepSpin's ready for it. And Mingy Beef Jerky, Coach, we'll get some out to you. They're our sponsor here on the show, Mingy Beef. Jack Givens said, "Where's my Mingy?" We had the Goose on the show, and he got some. He texted me, Coach. He said, "I got my Mingy Beef Jerky in the mail, Gary. I'm happy."
Hey, so Jack Givens. When I was a little guy at Boyle County, I got to go to a basketball camp with Gibby Graham, and Jack Givens was there. And I mean, you have no idea what a big deal it was to be a little guy at Boyle County and Jack Givens is at camp. I mean, it was really cool, but I'll never forget that. Yeah,
and I'll never forget how excited he was about Mingy Beef Jerky. He was excited, genuinely excited, wasn't he, William?
He was. Mingy, the best beef jerky on the planet.
That's right. Yep. Well, Coach, we really appreciate you coming on the show. We'll have you on again down the road, and you're all. And I'll be getting with you on the sync up the Scholastic Ball Report out at WKYT. I'll be getting with you, and we appreciate what you do for the kids and for Mercer County, and president of the football coaches. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Hey, and I'd say the same to you guys. Keep on doing what you're doing. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Coach.
You guys have a good evening.
I'm fine. Thanks, Coach. You have a good evening too. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
All right,
Bye.
Coach David Buchanan there, Gary, just a great guy, man, and his resume is so impressive. I mean, you sent it over to me. I was going to read some of that off, and then I'm like, hold on a second. This thing's like 3 pages long.
Yeah, I know. It is. I mean, that's what I thought you would do. But he's won so many awards, and he's got that great book out. David Buchanan, he's a football coach that gets it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say I would throw him in the class with a lot of these other great coaches like Eddie Evanston at Cub Cath, all these guys, Coach McPeak over at Douglas.
And don't forget my guy Nigel Smith over at Lexington Catholic. I got to give him some love.
Nigel Smith at Lexington Catholic. We got Coach Charles at Lexington Christian, does a great job. But I tell you what, high school coaches in Kentucky they don't get their just because I tell you, they are the best. I mean, if you look at the group as a you tell me what state has any better coaches? I've been in Ohio. I did the Ohio State Championships. I covered the Greater Cincinnati, the GCL with Moeller and St. X. I covered that league for years with Anthony Munoz. He was on the show with us a few weeks back talking about our coverage of that league. I've seen Ohio. I've seen Kentucky. I've seen Indiana. I've seen Tennessee. The best football is right here in the state of Kentucky. The best coaches are right here in the state of Kentucky. From top to bottom, they're just doing tremendous. And David Buchanan, what a class act. He's just, what a class act. I love that guy. I mean, he's a great coach and a great person.
Yep, he is, and we're glad that he's representing all the football coaches in the state of Kentucky. He does an excellent job. Mercer County truly is lucky to have him over there. Yep.
They've got some great coaches over there from top to bottom, and he's one of them, the football coach. I'm looking forward to seeing Mercer County this year, William. I know PrepSpin will get out and cover. I know you said we're going to have two teams this year broadcasting games. Is that right?
Yeah, we'll have two crews out there. If everything goes as planned, we'll have 2 crews out there. And of course, I'm really excited about the potential of us getting that production trailer. It's all that stuff right now is on back order, so we don't know when we may see that. So.
Right.
But yeah, we're truly excited. We've partnered even more with Mingy to help us do all this. So Curtis Mackley, just a great guy, and I'm looking forward to the future with all of us. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to covering games with you, William, and Coach Mike Meehan does a great job, and it's guys like David Buchanan that get me excited about the football season coming up in 2020, because he's such a God, humble man, and I think that the Mercer County kids are very lucky to have him as their football coach over there, and they know that at Mercer County. So it's going to be a good year. I'm looking forward to covering all the Lexington teams, like you said, Catholic and LCA, and Tates Creek, Dunbar, Bryant Station, Scott County, all the teams in Central Kentucky, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. All right, man. Well, definitely, and I'm hoping that we do have the tailgating going on, and the fans are involved, and all that good stuff. I think with what the Lexington Legends are doing right now, I think that gives us a lot of hope, because they're doing things right up there at the ballpark, and hopefully that translates over to the high school. And gives the governor and everybody else who makes those decisions the confidence to allow fans in the stands. Yeah. So. Well, I think, and Coach Buchanan said it best about their tailgating. Their families are already together, so it's kind of built into what they do already over there in Mercer County. And I think that's true at a lot of places. And you know what? I should have mentioned this while Coach Buchanan's on, and I apologize I didn't, but I should have gave – whoever does his landscape over there on that football field, is one heck of a landscaper. They've got the best grass turf in the whole entire state at Mercer County.
Yeah.
That thing is
Yeah.
always green. It's always beautiful. You've been over there. I've been over there. We've seen it. I mean, you know, when you talk about all these teams, you know, especially, you know, all the Lexington schools, with the exception of LCA, they've all got turf. You know, Mercer County, their grass looks great, man.
It
I mean, it
does.
is beautiful.
You mentioned that it's a great looking field, and Coach Buchanan said that. You know, they got a great AD there that does a tremendous job. I believe Donald Smith's his name, and I believe.
You watch Karate Kid movies, and you know when Mr. Miyagi trims the bonsai trees, right? I'm pretty sure that's how they trim the field over there at Mercer. Is they take it like that.
I don't know where you're going with this, and you know you know,
it's
on this
love,
podcast,
man. It's love. That's what I'm going.
No.
It's love for the field, right?
I got you. You know, we've had some great guests on this show, but I put David Buchanan up there with any of them. He's a great guy, and I enjoyed talking with him. And you know, we've had some tremendous guests. I mean, go down the list; it's unbelievable. But we appreciate Coach Buchanan's time. And you know, when he brought those two ladies out to the show several years ago, they were just such a class act. And he mentioned that they did all the social media for Mercer County and got that started and help with that program. And they were tremendous young ladies. And that's why we do this, William. We do this for the relationships we build with guys like Coach Buchanan. You know, all the coaches. We've built relationship with all these coaches around Central Kentucky, and they all do a great job, and we appreciate what they do. And you know, we hope that they enjoy what we do, because we really enjoy and love high school football.
Yep. I'll tell you what, I can't wait for it to get started. When it does, we'll be there. So
we'll be there. Looking forward to it.
Gary, it's been fun again tonight. We hope to do it again next Thursday night, and we'll continue. I think the show should continue because we get so much good feedback from it. You know, so yeah, we've got that. We're gonna start doing, you know, your ball report TV show as well. Start doing that, and what else we got coming up? Of course, sports. You know, we're gonna do sports. And
that's exactly right.
And of course, you know, when they start playing, nobody covers soccer or football or volleyball like we do here on PrepSpin, and we're just excited. I mean, this is like Christmas to us, being able to, you know, hear those words. Let's play.
Yep. Let's play ball. You're right. And it's going to be a fun season.
All right, man.
Outstanding. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. I'll talk to you later. Maybe tomorrow.
All right. Talk to you later, man. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, William.
See you, man.
Goodbye, everybody.